Craig's Tax Service at 142 Heritage Park Drive offers complete tax preparation, financial, and bookkeeping services.
This is Brandon Craig with Craig's Tax Service. We're proud to support all Rutherford County athletes.
Craig's Tax Service reminds you that it makes sense to get help with your taxes. Call 890-2233 for an appointment.
We've been serving Rutherford County since 1988.
Craig's Tax Service, 890-2233.
We're just off Memorial Boulevard at 142 Heritage Park Drive.
It's the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coach's Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 101.9, 100.5, 1450, WGNSSports.com and Big G TV.
The Coach's Show is brought to you in part by JHA Company, Josh Houston and Associates. Jewelry, letter jackets, yearbooks, graduation products, and more. JHACompany.com. Matt Kriesky joins us this morning. We're talking Blackman football. And, Coach, you know, you did something last week for the first time that any coach has had to do, and that is have to look at a TV to have somebody interview you.
Yeah, how's he doing? Is he doing better?
Yeah, he can hear you, but he can't talk. So okay. Right now,
well, that's a good thing. He can't talk.
Oh well, regular season in the books, Coach, and winners over the Rockville Rockets 35-7 on Thursday night. How do you like Thursday night games? I guess you get to do a little trick-or-treating on Fridays for Halloween, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was a quick turnaround from the previous Friday, and playing a team like Rockville, you're trying to cram everything in a shorter amount of period. It's tough because you want to make sure you cover and go over everything, and then you worry about how the kids are going to respond during the short week because it's different. But that was our third Thursday game this year, so I felt like the kids were used to it, the norm. They knew how we were going to practice the week that we played on Thursday. So I think having three and throughout the year kind of really helped us prepare and be ready for the game Thursday. The
traditionalists that say high school football is Friday night, I mean, that ship has sailed. You're going to have to play some Thursday nights from now on, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's just with the rest situation and just way things are. And it's not bad. Having one or two kind of breaks up the monotony throughout the year. But gives the kids at least one or two Fridays off during the year. But it was good. We were able to. I came in yesterday, went through a workout and kind of reviewed some film, and we started. Talking about Gallatin.
Going into the playoffs, I guess it does give you an extra day to be able to do something like that. And the difference between one extra day could be of, getting somebody back in that, was dinged up and not maybe.
Yeah. The biggest thing about this time of year is getting the kids some rest and recovery. I think that's huge this time of year. Make sure that you have all your guys ready and for the playoff game, because it's like I said, I was here last year, with the 4 seed. Everybody's 0-0. Everybody is 0-0 right now. You can throw the records out the window. You got to be ready to play Friday night, or if you're not, your season's over with.
You go into that game and assured a playoff berth, but there could have been some really weird things happen, and I guess, did you preach to your guys, we go out here and win, we can control our destiny, and we know where we're going to be?
Yeah, I tell the kids all week, we got to worry about Blackman. We can't worry about anything outside of Blackman. We got to take care of business and do what we're supposed to do. We felt like if we won the game Thursday, that we would have a home playoff game, and that was one of our goals going into the year is to get a home playoff game. So excuse me, the kids were locked in. They were ready to go Friday night, and it was a fun game. You
had some really explosive plays, especially on special teams and defensively against Rockville, and sometimes that can just really give you a lot of gas, and did that help you guys on Thursday night, you think?
Yeah, we had a kickoff return, but I think the biggest thing that really kind of set the game apart is, we had 3 interceptions, two returned for a touchdown. The third one was returned for touchdown, but got called back. Jaden Lark, I believe his was a 60-yard touchdown run. Trey Thornton was I believe it was a 46 INT for a touchdown. And then Emory Harris, he returned it back for a touchdown, but he got called back for a block in the back. Those 3 turnovers were really huge. And then we caused the turnover, caused the quarterback to fumble and recovered it. In our area, and so that was huge. Having 4 turnovers in a game is really huge, and that really, our defense really stepped up from the previous week. I was really proud of how they responded and accepted the challenge. What the defensive staff did, and how they got them ready and prepared for Thursday night.
Do you have a kickoff return too?
Yes, we had a kickoff return. Within the span, I believe it was under a minute. We scored 14 points in under a minute, and I think I look up. I feel like we were going into halftime up 7, and it was a 14-point swing within, I believe, 50 seconds, and that was huge. And I think it kind of the game changed. Everything changed within that 50 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know if when you were looking at film, if you saw the Rockville Smyrna game, a similar thing happened to them right before the half. And all of a sudden, that has to be such a boost. I mean, you're up 7 going into the second half. It's a totally different story.
It is. I was on the headsets telling the coaches, we're gonna get ready, guys. We got to go in here and then we got to regroup because we're gonna come out in the second half and it's gonna be a dogfight. But and then once that swing happened, you could tell our energy went from we're kind of low, and then the kids went crazy in the locker room. They were excited. We had to calm them down and let them know, hey, we still got two more quarters of football to play. But it was a huge momentum swing for us. I think Rockville's a really, really good football team, a well-coached football team. And like I've mentioned before on this show, I believe they could go in the playoffs and win a playoff game.
Yeah. Matt Kriesky here with us as we talk Blackman football. Let's talk just a second about the strength of this region. I told you when you were coming in that there was one team in particular when I looked at the 6A playoff bracket that I was glad that they're finally going to have to play somebody the first several rounds here, and that's every night in this region.
Yeah.
I mean, you overlook a Rockville, they could drill you.
Yeah, there's like since week 5, there's no Friday or Thursday nights off. You got to be ready to go and ready to play. You can't take a night off and just think you're going to come in here and come into the game and just cruise. You got to be mentally ready and prepared to play. I
mean, a Cookeville team from the other region we're paired up with is in the playoffs, had a chance to compete for a region championship this year toward the end of the season, or in the playoffs, and a team, Siegel, who is just out of the top 4 in our region, beat at Cookeville, which is almost impossible to do. So, I think that gets you ready for this time of the year, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And on another note, I gotta talk about our offense. Past 2 weeks, we've really been preaching the run game. We rushed for over 200 yards. Jabari Kemp had a huge carry. The first carry of the game was huge. Proud of him and what he's done this year for us, being a senior. We've got 3 backs. Since Daniel Smith has finally got healthy, we've got 3 backs we can rotate. And we think those 3 backs are really good and give us. They're all a little different. Jabari. Finished the night with a little over 100 yards, and Micah and Daniel each had around 40 yards apiece. So that was huge. And that's one of the things we're working on. With our offensive line is kind of getting our run game going again. And I felt like our offensive line, we got an outstanding group of guys playing up front. And I think they've really come together and really accepted the challenge that we've presented to them the past 2 weeks and help us reestablish our run game. And running for 200 yards, man, that says a lot about our offensive line and what they do. Proud of those guys up front. Kenny Jackson, Terry Baskin, Mikael Rodriguez, all those, Nehemiah Blackwell, all those guys do an outstanding job. Let me forget about Daniel Hernandez. He's the smallest one out there. I mean, the shortest one, but man, man, he gives us everything he has, and we're really proud of that group up front and how they've bonded and come together the past couple of weeks.
Wanted to actually highlight Jabari this morning as our SRM Concrete Solid performer. You mentioned he had 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, a big 50-plus yarder in the game for you. So great game from Jabari. And, you know, sometimes, Coach, you as you're going into playoffs, you're on that upward trajectory, and sometimes teams are not. Right. I think you guys are, though.
I hope we are. You know, and that's, you know, going back to Jabari. You know, there's been times throughout the year he's probably been a little frustrated. And I wouldn't say frustrated in a selfish way. Frustrated because you know, he's a competitor. You know, all 3 of them are. You know, they I know they get frustrated at times, but they want to prove what they can do. And you know, I finally had to sit all 3 of them down and let them know, hey, when you get your touch, when you get your carry, you know, make the best of it, because we don't know how many you'll get. And then we try to even them out with average them, you know, each of them. Jabari ended up, I believe, with 11, and the other 2, I think, had 6 or 7 apiece. And so they all did a great job. And they've finally come together and realizing, hey, we're in this together, we're doing this together, and that's our team culture. That's what we try to do. Is, you know, we're a team, we're not a bunch of individuals. And what's so good about it is when Jabari scored a touchdown, you see the receivers running over there celebrating with them, and it's just like you said. I think we're starting to come together, and hopefully we're coming together at the right time.
Well, you have in the first round of the playoffs the Gallatin Green Wave, and for Rutherford County folks, that brings back a lot of memories. We have had some wars with Gallatin over the years, and they wind up the number 4 seed, and I think they were 6-3 on the year. So I mean, they've had a fine year. So that was a very competitive region there too. Yeah,
it's going to be a good game for us. Their quarterback got hurt a couple weeks ago, so they moved a kid to quarterback. He's an athlete. He runs the ball well. He's starting to manage the game a lot better. He's improved each week since he's been back there. So we're gonna have to come ready. You know, it's not just like we said earlier. It's not gonna be a game that we just show up. So we've got to be well prepared and ready to go.
Well, you know, the opportunities to have you know, home gate and a lot of people and make a little money to make sure that the program can continue to do the things that you need to do. I mean, this is where you really call on your fans to come out and support. And I know Blackman fans will be there.
They're going to be there. You know, the stands are going to be filled. Community, everybody in the community going to be there. The youth football league, Nate's going to bring out the youth football league. We'll have some real big support. So we're excited. You know, the kids, you can see it after the game. You know, kind of a little relief getting, because, you know, we've talked about it all year. One of our goals, you know, about getting that home playoff game, and so it's exciting. It's great to see all the work these kids have been putting in since January and accomplish a goal. You know, and I told them, man, that's part of life. When you really work towards something and you come to work each and every single day, you're able to accomplish the things in life that you want to accomplish. And so we're really proud of what they've done so far, but it's not over yet.
That is true. The playoff road. Month of November is going to be very interesting to see unfold, and appreciate you coming in this morning, Coach, and always look forward to talking with you, and looking forward to seeing what can happen in this playoffs for your 9-1 Blackman Blaze. And what an accomplishment on the regular season, 9-1, runner-up in the region, in a very competitive region, and playoff time is here. Coach, appreciate you.
Thank you.
That's Matt Kriesky joining us this morning on the Coach's Show, which is brought to you by Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna. Give Rick a call for auto, home, business, and life insurance needs online at rayburn.net.